traffic on the way straight to hell.
Welcome back to your news. My name is Storm Suri, and I couldn't help my fucking self. This Extinction Rebellion, putting aside how they've been on the streets and everything else, I think that's been well covered, documented, and everything else. What grinds my gears about it most is putting Greta to one side, because really, honestly, every adult should be ashamed in that situation, and that's all I can really say on that. But these people are yet another organisation that is being funded and paid for by trade unions and by crowdsourcing, which, if you go and look at my recent community post, I show the one of the people, maybe the leader of Extinction Rebellion, admitting this and admitting that they have paid protesters. Not all, but this is what I've said about Rent a Crowd before, and I proved that point, and I hope that I can prove it again 10 times over if need be, to make sure that that's not considered to be a conspiracy on this channel anymore. But what grinds my gears is that they are conflating multiple problems. Climate change with mass extinction, which only have some ties with human interaction with the environment, with the glacier melts. So my point being is there's multiple climate issues, and the climate issues don't necessarily don't overlap the extinction issue, because we do have an extinction. We are experiencing an extinction level event. People think that's only ever happened once with the dinosaurs. That's not true. We've had many of them. 99.9% of life that's ever existed has died. It's like 1% of life has managed to stay around on the planet. Everything else that's ever existed has died, and we're a young animal. So they're talking about extinction for us, which they keep saying, oh, you need to look at science, you need to look at science. Well, no science out there says that we're going to go extinct. The other thing is that all science points to us going extinct, because 99.9% of life before us has gone extinct. And that's for reasons that we couldn't control, like the planet changing, natural disasters even beyond our control, plus human intervention. All these things mean that much of this is out of our control. But they conflate it all together as this one big package of, oh yeah, the climate change and the mass extinction. And this is my problem with it all. It's like, we know there's climate change. We haven't got 100... Right, so their line is, listen to the scientists. They're the ones that know it best. Well, sorry, but no, you don't get to use that line, because you all fucked up, both sides, because you politicised this. And what you did was you had pro-scientists and against scientists, and as a result you've got biased scientists on both sides giving you completely opposite projections of what's going on. And that's the problem when you politicize a subject too far, when a bunch of scientists want to jump on board one theory and a bunch of scientists want to jump on board another. That's why I was glad when they sent a ship out to actually go and do some research and documented research over the years. That's the only answer, is to research. Yeah, it's a bummer, Extinction Rebellion, because it takes longer, and that's inconvenient for us all. But we are not imminently about to go extinct, except for the fact that we also are imminently about to go extinct, because we can at any moment, and that's been proven for every single animal since life began. But for them to conflate climate change with extinction when they don't overlap perfectly, in fact, potentially with some scientists that don't overlap at all, and conflate that to be one big issue, and to suggest that we are all about to have an imminent death is just it's fantasy. On the other hand, if you listen to scientists that say there's no such thing as climate change, and the climate's not changing, and everything's happening as normal, you've got to look at them as being a bit batshit crazy too. Because what we know is that the climate is changing faster than it ever has, as far as we're aware. But we know that climate change has always happened on this planet. We know that it's been a perfectly natural thing. Everyone assumes that all these things that we're going to do are going to make a difference. They may no difference, because it also depends on what natural gases are being released from Earth. Well, that can change. That can change depending on what volcanoes are up, what lakes have gas trapped underneath them, things like that. That can change the whole complexion of the atmosphere anyway. It's a much more deep and complex issue than they'd like you to believe. And it needs to be researched on all levels. We should be more worried about the plastics in the sea. With the climate thing, it's like, I'm not saying there's no smoke or fire. I'm saying that they are going full hog into a full conflation of the issue, and or multiple issues, and they are acting irresponsibly by trying to alarm people as though they have the facts. It's a bit like religion again. Like, they've got all the facts, no more information required. We know that the Earth's going to end. We know that we're about to die. And the projections from other scientists are the Earth's gonna top out. Its population's gonna level off around 9 to 9.5 billion, which surprised me. But that's what they think, that it may actually level off, which would counter many of these. There's so many arguments, but this is what I mean. It's what happens when you conflate things, because they conflate in population with climate, with mass extinction. These things are separate. Some of them overlap, some don't. And I'm sick to death of hearing these idiots and come on these shows justify. I mean, we have demos and stuff like that. What would happen to one of us if we behaved like any of them? We'd be arrested. I mean, I know some of them have been, but we'd be arrested and we'd be treated a lot more differently. And I don't know if it's some of the age of some of us or whatever else, but I can appreciate the power of protests. I've been on some, but I just feel like it's got to come from the right place, and I think that these people are being disingenuous. The reason they're being disingenuous is because ignorant people, once again, same old story, are being paid by the left to go and protest these things. Otherwise, the numbers wouldn't look anything near as significant, and they know it. So they take money off people as charity, as funding for what sounds like helping people. But what they really mean is helping people by going out and doing their. So the people are being, they have paid activists, and they are paying them a wage. We are there on the skin of our bones, a lot of us, because we want to be, because we want to fight those fights. How many of them would be if they weren't? Bear in mind how young they are. What would you have done when you were young? If someone said, look, for paying all of your living expenses, we will well, you go and camp out in the street in London, we'll pay you a load of money. What would you have done when you were younger? And, I'm not a climate change denier. I may let's do research rather than politics, and find out the truth, because we don't know what it is. But these people are all acting like they do. Seeing grown men say, giving that Greta some bloody credit as though she'd done something, Nobel Peace Prize worthy, when it was a kid with a few issues, having some problems that her parents should have been ashamed to have let her do. It's all a incredibly ugly joke. And my only surprise is that none of us are out there. I mean, people have reported on it, but none of us are out there. I don't know, doing what we do best. And if I had the money and the opportunity, I would have been there to take the piss, and that's my only regret. that I couldn't go and speak to some of these people and disassemble some of this science that keeps saying that we should listen to. And I heard one of them say 92% of scientists believe in what we're saying. It's like, not from what I've seen. It's very split, but that split is I think, comes down to who's paying them. So, we need an independent review of this, and before people start asking for changes and measures, we perhaps should understand what it is exactly we're battling and how we best to change it in the first place, rather than pretending that we've got all the answers. That's the most dangerous place of all, as I've always said. So I think I've got my little bit of irritation out of the way. They just do my head in, because it's not just because they're like on the left or anything. It's not, I don't have a genuine dislike for people on the left. Far left, yeah. It's the fact that they're no better than any other politician or anything else. Is that's they're filled full of bullshit and they don't question it, because none of them have read a book. So, F you Extinction Rebellion protesters. Probably good sense of morals from a few of you. Terrible results. I know you'll all be applauding yourselves, saying, "Oh, we made a massive impact, and we did this and we did that." No, you pissed a few people off. You will always claim victory because you say you got on TV, you say you did this, you say you did that, you say you made people look. But yeah, I think people are more discerning than you give them credit for. They're not as thick as you are. My name's Storm Fury, this is Zero News. I am calling it a day for now.